I did a piece some time ago. I titled it The Little Man in Finland. And obviously I was referring to Simon Ekpa. I think a lot of people are giving him more credit than he deserves. I think he's a general without troops. But I think he is benefiting from the crisis in the Southeast, which to some extent he has also been part of. But the matter of the Southeast has gone beyond even Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. There are so many other players are involved in the violence in the Southeast, non-state actors. And then recently, we must also not forget, that does not take away from the fact that Simon Ekpa has also been causing a problem from the South in the Southeast, even with his statements, for instance. And you wonder why the Finnish government would continue to tolerate somebody who is within their territory and using social media to create panic and violence in another part of in his home country. And I think he speaks seriously about the responsibility of the Finnish, government. But beyond that is the fact that, like I said, there are so many other actors that are active. Recently, in some of the intervention by the military and the police authorities in the Southeast, each time they had some successes in their confrontations with some of these non-state actors. We have also discovered that the people operating in the Southeast, some of them are not Southeasterners. That is not to say that Southeasterners are not involved. So there is something, going on. Not too long ago, and I think it's important, I'm not sure whether the media adequately captured Asari Dokubo's statement the day he went to the presidency and was indicting the Nigerian military as being useless, and that he is the one that has been providing security services for the country. Now we know when Tompolo was given a contract by the federal government to protect the country's pipelines. And of course, people had different opinions about that, whether it was okay or it was not okay. But there was at least a formal announcement to that, to that. We don't know at what point Asari Dokubo was engaged by the government, but what is important is the fact that he stated that he was active militarily in certain parts of the country, defending the Nigerian state. He mentioned Imo State, he mentioned Plateau State, Benue State, Abuja, and other parts of the country. Now, what kind of engagement was he doing? And I think that people, the authorities should look into that, because I know that the police and the army still have the mandate, especially the army when it comes to when the police fail in their duty to protect our territories. The army or the military has that responsibility. So who is financing or having this arrangement where Asari Dokubo and his armed militia are actively involved in violent acts, whether good or bad, in parts of this country? So perhaps, he also has a role to play there. That, like I said, does not excuse Simon Ekpa. And then with regards to Nnamdi Kanu, it went beyond, a judicial issue, If you look at the fact that even at best, even when the courts had made certain statements, given the, for the man to be released, the federal government has never really complied, because it went beyond being, a legal issue. You can make it if it is, but it has always been a political issue.